When you think about crypto, it's super easy to get caught up in all the hype, right? The next big coin, the next meme that's going to go to the moon. But what if the real, lasting opportunity is actually hiding in plain sight? What if it's in the companies building the actual foundation, the plumbing of the crypto world? Well, today we're going to look at one of those companies, a tiny, mostly overlooked player that could be on the verge of something really big. So the source material we're looking at today asks this really fascinating question. It's kind of like the old gold rush analogy. You can either bet on the prospectors finding gold, or you can bet on the guys selling the picks and shovels. And when the market really heats up, it's often those picks and shovels companies, the infrastructure builders, that see the most incredible gains. And the company we're diving into today, it's a true micro cap with potentially massive upside. So who is this company we're talking about? It's called Dynamite Blockchain Corp. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why our source material sees this as such a compelling, under-the-radar story. Okay, but before we dive in, we have to do the standard disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing you hear today is financial advice. We're just breaking down the investment thesis from our sources to help you understand it. As always, and I mean always, do your own research. All right, so let's really get into it. Let's peel back the layers on Dynamite Blockchain. What is it they actually do, and what makes their position in this market so unique? So at its core, Dynamite Blockchain is a public company based out of Vancouver, but they've got a really unique angle. They call themselves a gateway to utility-driven digital assets. So what does that even mean? Well, instead of just gambling on crypto prices, they're focused on actually using digital assets in the real world. Think things like a crypto-powered debit card or a gaming platform where you get rewarded with actual tokens. It's all about utility. And this slide really puts it into perspective just how small we're talking here. It trades on exchanges in Canada, Germany, and the US. And look at that share price, around 4 cents. The entire company is valued at about 16 million Canadian dollars. This is a true microcap, the kind of company that just doesn't show up on most people's radar. But as you're about to see, that's exactly what makes this story so fascinating. So the big question is, how does a little company with a $16 million market cap even begin to tackle building the future of crypto infrastructure? Well, their entire strategy is built on what they call a 3-pillar ecosystem, and it's actually a pretty clever approach. You see, Dynamite's whole business is built on these 3 pillars that all work together: holdings, products, and services. Each one feeds into the next. The company makes strategic investments. Those are the holdings. Then they build products that actually use those assets. And finally, they offer those tools as services. It's this powerful, interconnected ecosystem that's designed to drive growth. Let me show you how. First up, their holdings. These are the strategic digital assets that form the foundation for everything else. They've got a stake in Kaspa, which is a really interesting blockchain technology, and they also own Masters of Trivia, which is a gaming platform with over 100,000 monthly active users that actually rewards them for learning. So you see, these aren't just random investments. They're the core building blocks for what Dynamite wants to build next. And this is where those holdings start to come to life. The second pillar, products, is all about creating real-world uses for those assets. They've got the MA wallet, which can hold over 1,200 different cryptocurrencies. They're also building out a crypto-powered debit card and a crypto mining operation that runs on renewable energy. The goal here is to create this seamless world where their holdings are actually used inside their products, creating this amazing cycle of growth. Okay, so this strategy sounds great, right? A solid story. But you gotta have the numbers to back it up. So now, let's talk about the numbers. Because, let me tell you, this is where things get, well, pretty wild. Get this. In their latest quarterly report, Dynamite announced they have a staggering $31 million in total assets. That's up from just $2 million a year ago. That's a 15 times increase. For a company this small, that kind of growth is it's almost unheard of. But here's the real bombshell. In a single quarter, just 3 months, Dynamite reported a net income of $14.47 million. Now remember, their entire market cap is only about $16 million. I mean, just think about that for a second. A company valued at $16 million just brought in $14 million in income in a single quarter. That is the kind of massive financial turnaround that can really make a stock take off. And if you can believe it, it actually gets even better. The company's shareholder equity, which is basically its net worth, what would be left if you sold everything and paid off all the debts, has shot up to $29.5 million. That means the company's book value is now almost double what the stock market says it's worth. That is an incredibly rare situation, and it strongly suggests that the market might be seriously undervaluing this company. So, okay, we've got this tiny company, right? The growth is explosive and the stock looks deeply undervalued. But the big question is this just a one-off thing or is there something bigger happening here? Are they just getting lucky or are they riding a massive wave of growth? Well, the global blockchain market is on the brink of an absolutely massive explosion. It's projected to grow from $41 billion in 2025 to nearly $2 trillion by 2034. That's growing by over 50% every single year. For a company like Dynamite, which is building the exact infrastructure this market will run on, that's not just a tailwind, that's like a massive tidal wave of opportunity. So they've got the financials, the market is definitely on their side, but where do they go from here? Well, according to the company, they're really just getting started. They're moving into a new phase now, one that's all about activating their ecosystem and turning all that potential into real profit. And this slide here lays out their game plan. They're launching a multi-chain wallet that has a digital ID built right in. They're rolling out a Visa-backed crypto debit card, and they're launching their own payments infrastructure. Each of these steps is designed to put one more piece of the puzzle into place, building a complete end-to-end blockchain platform, a kind of one-stop shop for everything crypto. And so that brings us right back to where we started, to that big question. As the crypto market really starts to heat up again, is it going to be the flashy coins that get all the attention and capture all the gains? Or could it be the quiet, undervalued companies, the ones patiently building the essential infrastructure, that emerge as the real lasting winners? The story of Dynamite Blockchain certainly suggests the answer might just surprise you, and that is definitely a thought worth pondering.